Oh God, Tana's pointing at me. The podcast has started and I brain farted.
Oh man, this is starting out so badly already. Alright, welcome to episode 12 of On Bullshit.
On Bullshit. I'm not repeating the episode number.
Okay, right on. Well, we had an amazing intro and start to this episode before, but
stuff broke.
One of my programs decided to cut off access to the mic, so
Stupid program.
We're doing this again, and it's not going as smoothly.
It's not. It's like we're brain dead today.
We really had like a spot on intro on the last one.
It was amazing.
God, I wish you guys could hear this, but whatever.
Yeah. Okay, we cool. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
It was good.
What were we talking about? Trump. We're always talking about Trump and politics.
Everyone does talk about Trump. It's impossible not to.
It is the thing to talk about now.
Yes.
But we talked about his cybersecurity hookup with Putin. And then he tweeted, I know it's not going to happen, but a ceasefire can and will. So, what?
Yes. As I stated before, the best way to solve cybersecurity problems is clearly to team up with the guy that causes
hacked
you.
I mean, that's like preemptively giving your bully your lunch money so they don't beat you up. And then they beat you up anyway.
It's like me finding like someone that stole my identity online and being like, hey man, let's team up and stop this from happening. Like, it seems like a really good idea.
It's like basically giving them permission. Like,
yes.
I'm going to trust that you're not going to do it, so let's have this agreement that we're going to protect other people from what you were doing. And then I'm going to turn my back on you and let you do whatever you want.
What can go wrong?
Besides everything? I mean, it's not like there's millions of dollars worth of quote-unquote stuff.
No.
Online that you can, steal or get access to or gain control of over the internet, over the wires, and no one's gonna know.
But, as we were discussing earlier, his G20 summit meeting went well, I guess.
It went apparently amazing.
Yeah, because everyone was apparently discussing John Podesta's server and why he wouldn't give it to the FBI.
Why would he? What's it got to do with anything?
I mean, I love the fact that, like, anytime, like, Trump feels in a bind, he has to, like, attack Hillary or Obama for something.
Even though they're not even doing anything.
Yeah, like, we're way past the election. It feels awkward. Now he randomly brings up John Podesta's emails.
And then he refuses to admit that Russia might have hacked when, like, a couple weeks ago, he was saying that President Obama knew that the Russians were hacking our election.
Right.
Months before the election happened. So what gives?
Can I just say, though, I mean, as we talked about earlier, to clarify, John Podesta does not have email servers he controls that he can just hand over to the FBI.
No.
They hacked the DNC servers, first of all.
Which,
John Podesta's email, his Gmail, was hacked because of a phishing attempt that he fell victim to.
Which, I don't know how people fall for phishing scams. They're always so, like, they're not subtle.
Some of them are getting better. Just because, one of the things I always have to deal with a lot of times is customers who get messages that are supposedly say, like, oh, well, your iCloud password changed, or someone signed in. Mm-hmm. So you get messages that are messages you'd get with, like...
And you click the link.
Yeah.
Instead of opening a browser and going to the website and checking your stuff, and you're like, oh, wait, that's a lie.
Exactly. So, like, I mean, word for word they match, message-wise, but yeah, once you click the link, you realize this isn't actually a real site, this is a fake knockoff.
Yeah, and then there's all those people that don't look at the address bar.
Yes. Or the email sender. That's the thing that always, like, kills me.
Yeah, it's always got, like, weird characters, or it's gonna be blank, or it's gonna be something that does not fit. But yet they continue on and follow the directions that are in the email. And then guess what? They lost their identity.
Yeah, like on the iCloud ones, the thing will say, like, Apple on the sender, and then when you click it to see the actual URL, it's like iCloud temporary support help or something. It's just like something that sounds like DS.
Something that's not a thing.
Yeah.
Perfect for us, though.
It's amazing how many people fall victim to those.
God, mostly uneducated. Well, not necessarily uneducated, like stupid, but people that don't take the time.
Not technically savvy people.
Yeah, they don't take the time to learn about what they're trying to use, like the technology that they just bought.
Mm-hmm.
No one bothers to figure out the ins and outs of it. They think, oh, that's what support is. And then they get an email from tech support telling them all these things, and they're like, oh, okay, click, click, click. Oh, shit. Why? Why, people? Why?
I gotta say, one thing, I always feel like I have to advertise it. Like, one thing I'm super happy about on my computer now, I don't know if you use anything like this. I have the program, which is the same program, ironically, that blocked us, our first recording. But it literally just, like, will block all access to your microphone and your webcam until you give something access.
Oh, the thing you're supposed to turn off every time we start recording?
Exactly. So, it's something that's great because it's one of those things, like, if you didn't know you were being hacked and someone was accessing your microphone or your LED camera or your webcam, you didn't see the LED or something, it would block them. And so like the NSA just can't like overhear my conversations randomly if they think I'm an interesting person.
Man, isn't that the kind of program that the NSA and them, like, they say, if there's a back door to it, give it to us?
Yes.
Okay, and then they got hacked and all those back doors got taken.
I'm actually glad you brought that. I feel like that's a really... it's one of those things that drives me nuts. Because the FBI argument, and most of the intelligence agencies make that argument, if you create a backdoor for us, we're only going to use this in certain cases and only use it on certain people. No. And it's not a big deal. It'll be secure. Except, as we know from all of these other attacks that have occurred, including, what was that last phishing attempt? The really bad one that got out?
The one with the hospitals?
The one that it attacked hospital systems and
I can't remember. I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember.
Is it ransomware, a form of ransomware?
Yeah, they were like asking a certain amount of money for them to like release. They locked down the computers pretty much, I think.
I want to say, and I am sorry because it's been a while since I looked up the story, but I think that was one of the ones that was generated from a security agency that got leaked.
From one of those back doors?
Yes. A bunch of these bugs, a lot of the big attacks that have been coming out lately are actually bugs that were created from either like the NSA or another national security agent,
The agencies that are supposed to be the most secure, and then they're not.
And their bug gets out, and surprise, a hacker gets a hold of it. Oh my god, it's out in the wild. What a shocker.
Yeah, a coworker was telling me earlier. It's kind of related, kind of not. 4chan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so apparently one of his friends took a picture of another friend's butt, like just mooning the camera, and they posted it to the 4chan forum, and they're like, bitch can't find me. 15 minutes later, the guy whose butt got a picture taken of, he was getting random people trying to friend him on Facebook. They found him via a picture of his butt.
Oh my god.
I'm sure they track the ISP, all those other things, but still, they can find you with no identifying features. So if random people on the internet can do it, and they have these skills, and you know for a fact that they don't work for the government, and then the government announces pretty much that they've got a list of all these security vulnerabilities, what the heck makes them think that people like the 4chan users aren't going to go and take that as a challenge,
right? And
make firmware, software, malware, something that's going to get that information from them.
That's why it's a really bad idea to withhold backdoors and bugs, and for companies to comply with like the FBI and to say, yes, we put this backdoor in for you to break our encryption should you ever need to access someone's phone or emails or whatever.
Which is, no. You're paying... Okay, you're not necessarily paying Apple directly to keep your data private, but you are paying your cell phone carrier to keep your data private, and they in turn pay Apple, don't they?
So...
I'm not sure how the hierarchy works.
Well, it was weird because it used to be, I think when the Patriot Act first came out, and we first started hardcore collecting data logs.
Our rights.
Yeah, metadata. Like, all of the cellular companies used to comply and just hand over the data. if the FBI said we suspect something's happening, they'd hand it over without even getting a warrant necessarily. And so a few years ago, like back when privacy was becoming a bigger deal, I think
Online privacy.
I think the thing that really kickstarted this was the Snowden documents, the Snowden leaks. Everyone started. We were kind of starting to get to the point to where companies were getting less cooperative with the agencies because we learned, of course, they're just collecting massive amounts of data and aren't necessarily
doing anything,
using it to stop attacks or.
They're just gathering personal information.
Exactly.
So they might tag you as a potential terrorist.
So
because of your search history.
Exactly. So a lot of companies actually started refusing to cooperate, and then the government was threatening to sue them, and actually a few lawsuits happened, but...
I hope they lost.
Some they did. There's only... Because basically the government can only force you if they have, I think, the warrant, and then you have to comply, but...
it's kind of hard to get a warrant for something that's digital.
It's finally, everything's kind of flipping on its head now. Now, I think privacy rights
They're trying to do away with your internet privacy. Like
the Republicans
I was
are
explaining it at work today. Like, okay, everyone knows when you sign a contract with your ISP, they kind of tell you, but they don't, that they're going to be gathering your browsing history data.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly they tell you that they're not going to sell it, but you know they're selling it. You know that someone has access to your browsing data because those personalized ads you get on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Google. They know what you're looking at on the internet. unless you're tech savvy enough to set up a VPN or, bounce off a bunch of proxies or do the whole stealthy internet browsing thing.
Did I tell you I'm a VPN user now?
No, you didn't.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I clearly interrupted, so you can say.
No, but like, people don't understand that even when they use the private mode on their browser, there's still something keeping track of what they're doing.
Right. Actually, yeah, let's go ahead and just clear the air on that because I feel that's important. You're right. When you use private browsing, you're just basically telling your browser not to remember the history. You're not stopping your ISP.
No.
You are just saying Mozilla or Safari or Firefox or
whatever.
Chrome don't keep a record of where I'm going in your browser.
But while you're actively in those websites, the data is being recorded.
Yes. By
your ISP. ISP is your internet service provider. This is completely separate from your cell phone service.
The only way to get around this, like you mentioned earlier, was VPN.
Yeah, a virtual private network.
Yes, and I recommend everyone pay for a service. There are the freebies, but usually they still keep data logs. They do, yeah.
Scary.
You can't know for sure. I'm a huge fan of F-Secure. If everyone needs a good VPN client.
We're not sponsored, by the way. We're just...
Yes, we are just throwing out recommendations and
it's
things
not
we
an
like.
ad. But yeah, just... there is an attack on our privacy, pretty much. But it's being overshadowed by all the stupid shit that Trump's doing. And like, all these other people are using the opportunity to sneak some things in under the radar.
Yes.
But... like the healthcare thing. I see blurbs every once in a while, but the only people that I see actively talking about it are like Senator Warren, Senator Sanders, and like people in their circles. But outside of that, and outside of like the representatives of the people that will be like the most affected, no one else is talking about it.
I think one of the things you brought up earlier, like the Republicans deserve to be attacked for this. Because I believe it came down, the vote you were talking about to allow your ISP to sell your browsing data. It was literally almost down the party line. They had 0 Democratic votes for it, and almost all, just about all. There were a few dissenting Republicans, but just about the entire Republican Party voted to allow that to happen. So they have no belief in actual privacy rights.
Yeah, so,
online.
And it's gonna like... if it goes through, once it goes through, they're gonna be like, yeah, everyone has to give up their privacy, but we don't.
Actually, I think a story came out not that long after where a bunch of Republicans were kind of, I guess, confused because they didn't quite understand what they were voting for. No surprise, because a lot of people, a lot of the representatives aren't tech savvy.
Yeah.
So they're just like, wait, what? My browsing history can be sold?
Yeah,
And you
voted yes, so that applies to everyone in the country.
Yeah, you're just like, Jesus Christ, what the hell are you doing?
Who was it? There was this one senator that was trying to prove something, and he sent in a screenshot of his web browser.
Oh.
And they didn't check it.
Oh, yes.
And he was on a porn website.
Yes. Oh.
2. He was on 2 porn websites. And later he came back and he was like, something research purposes.
I'm gonna have to look that up. I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't remember who that was, but yeah, that was brilliant.
It was amazing. Like, dude, we can get the information of what you're up to on your own private time. Because, you voted to say no more online privacy. So, and then you're like, porn.
What are your parting thoughts on this?
People need to get educated on we've talked about this. Just because you lean one way politically, don't just go to the news that align with your beliefs. You need to know every side of every story. Even if you don't agree with it.
100% agree with that.
Peace out.
All right. Bye, people.